Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Neon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about what could be another Disney disaster incoming. This is Pixar's Elemental, and look, it was already projected to come in low at the box office, $28 to $38 million. They're being optimistic. And now the reviews are coming in, and the reviews are not good.
Father's Day box office is going to suck.
It is going to suck.
You know, Flash might do better than expected just because this is going to do worse.
Or you could go do something else with Dad.
That's right.
You can buy Dad a copy of Gollum, and you can spend all weekend
So, anyway.
playing that shit all weekend. All right, so we're going to talk about these reviews for Elemental. Now, I'm sure we're going to have Pixie Dusters come in eventually, and I'm sure there are going to be people that like it, but right now, the reviews are predominantly negative based on the Cannes Film Festival. So here we go. All right. Before we get into it any further, please subscribe for more pop culture, news, views, and rants, guys. If you do, you'll get a woohoo.
Woohoo!
And yeah, this is coming from World of Real, and I pulled some of these up. Pixar's latest feature, Elemental, looked promising, but it's now been...
Never looked promising.
Yep, it never looked promising. But it's now been screened at Cannes Film Festival and has been met with disappointing reviews. We should have taken it as a warning sign that Cannes decided to screen this one on the very last day of the fest, when most journalists have already left. I'll be watching this one next week. Elemental has a 56 on Metacritic, with some critics wondering if Pixar has lost its luster of yore. It definitely has.
I've been saying this for a few years now, so have we.
Yeah, as it stands, the last truly great Pixar movie was Inside Out.
This feels like it's a ripoff.
Yep, the last very good one was Coco, and Soul was good enough, I guess. So here are some of the reviews. The Hollywood Reporter, Elemental review, Pixar's timely high-concept bonanza underwhelms. That's the headline. We'll go into these more, but I'm going to pull up some of these headlines first. Elemental review. New Pixar animation is visually splendid, but swamped in syrupy sentiment. Cannes Film Festival review. Elemental review. A hothead and a water boy fall for one another in Pixar's overcomplicated rom-com.
Oh,
So-
Hothead and Water Boy.
A hothead and water boy.
That's us.
I'm soggy. You're hot and I'm not. I'm damp. So let's look at this one. This is the one that got my attention. I did not know it was even screening because, again, they waited until the very last day when everybody was going home.
I didn't even realize it was coming out in like a couple weeks. I kept thinking it was much further away because you aren't seeing jack shit for it.
No.
They're doing again like they did before. They're not wasting their money. They might close like next week, but they were pushing for Little Mermaid. So all their money went for promotion for that. And this one kind of just got,
So it's coming from the director of The Good Dinosaur.
Oh, I can't imagine why.
Which
it's
did
that good.
did not do well at the box office either. Tells the story of a fire family immigrating to a metropolis dominated by the opposing element of water and the romance that ensues.
Why would you move to a city dominated by water if you're fire? It's like the aliens. Why would they, the twist, why would they invade the earth when they can't stand water?
Maybe there's a logical explanation. I don't know, but I'm sitting here thinking like, oh, I see red people and blue people. Why would you leave Florida and move to Portland, Fire Girl? Why would you do that?
Is that what you think? I mean, maybe.
Because everything's so ham-fisted now, right?
I don't know, would they?
So they're like, yeah, in the last few years, Pixar, which Disney purchased for more than $7 billion, has failed to deliver the goods like it used to. There was a guy that used to work there that oversaw all of these movies, and they had a certain it factor, and you had to push him out because he hugged people. Mr. Lasseter. Mr. Lasseter got gone. Soul was ambitious, but played too much like a jazzy riff on Inside Out.
They're all like Inside Out knockoffs.
Yeah, Luca was fun in The Italian Son, but also too slight. Lightyear was an unnecessary spin-off of a great franchise that should have ended as a trilogy.
I agree with you there. Are you allowed to say that now?
There were 3 good Toy Story movies. We did not need a 4th one.
I know, but when we said it, we're horrible people.
Oh my God. So this is Elemental. The studio's 27th feature has, well, all the elements that make up a great Pixar movie. A high concept pitch that could only be rendered via dazzling state-of-the-art computer animation, blah, blah, blah. It's all there. So much that Elemental may not be the first work from Pixar to feel like it was generated entirely by AI. Not just the AI computing all the imagery, but literally an algorithm putting together a perfect Pixar movie. Now, there actually is an algorithm. It's, was it the Pixar method or something they talk about, like what Pixar storytelling is? They basically took John Lasseter's workflow and broke it down and said, this is how Pixar tells a story. And everybody kind of copied it, but they did it better than Pixar is doing it now.
The problem, of course, is that the originality is mostly absent here, as the thematic risk-taking that drove films like WALL-E or Inside Out or Coco. Basically, people die. They're saying, but what's interesting is the originality is absent here. God, if only people have been saying that on YouTube for years and got so much shit for it, calling out the lack of originality at Disney. If only. If only.
So let me get this straight. So Bob Iger went on a purchasing spree.
Yes.
And he bought, let's see, what did he buy? He bought Pixar. Okay, and he's run that into the ground. He
basically buys things and kills it.
Yeah, buys it and kills it.
Brands go to die.
Disney, where brands go to die. Oh, I could just see that with like some pixie dust around it, and it's done in the Walt font where brands go to die.
Sorry, continue.
So yeah, he bought Pixar, choked the life out of it, because of course, they got rid of John Lasseter. So that definitely didn't help. Star Wars, they choked the life out of it. Marvel, they choked the life out of it. Fox never had any life in it.
Well, Marvel got a little bit out of it. I mean, Star Wars, they got a little bit out of it too, but then, they kept squeezing and then killed it.
They had the blueprint though. See, Marvel, they knew when they bought Marvel that they were headed toward Infinity War.
And they already had it going. And with Star Wars, they were given a blueprint that they wiped their ass with and threw away.
They tossed over their shoulder like the lightsaber Luke tossed over his shoulder. And they got rid of...
It's a metaphor for stupidity.
It is. It's just like, what the hell? So when you hear Bob Iger go on, and what's going to happen is this one's going to die, right? It's going to die in the theater.
I think they know it.
And then they're going to look at The Little Mermaid and be like, look, that made let's do more of this unoriginal shit. Let's just remake all of our movies, our better movies.
Till they run out.
Till they run out. Then let's make sequels. So we're right back to where we start from with the cheap cool thing, which everybody complained about Eisner doing, but geez.
Hey, side note, I'm not going to do a whole video on the Little Mermaid thing, I don't think. But what's interesting to me about the Rotten Tomatoes score on that one, you don't have to pull it up, is that the all audiences critical score and the top critical score and all critic scores all fluctuate. But the verified audience score has been 95% since the first day that reviews started coming in.
Yeah, it's weird.
And even if people are like, well, when there's more reviews, it's harder to change. Yeah, that's true. Except it's been like that since the reviews started coming in, when there was very few reviews. So why is 95 never changing, no matter how many reviews come in? Could it be locked? It's just a little odd. All the other scores change, but that one does not. And I just find that very interesting because it's like when you do that, Disney, it makes people question the movie. But continue.
Well, I mean, they weren't going to let it fail. Look at this. It's going to do 120 million opening. That's great. They spent $80 million to advertise it.
Oh, I think they spent more than $80 million.
Yeah,
I know they paid themselves $10 million for one spot. They had to spend more than 80. It's everywhere. It's all over the damn place.
Deadline, the very first sentence. What has fallen flat at Pixar? Well, they got rid of John Lasseter. Why is nobody bringing this up?
Because you're not allowed to, because you're a chauvinistic, misogynistic, sexist pig if you do.
This is the innovative animation studio that pushed all before it in the first decade of this millennium, that invented a way of turning the plastic finish of digital animation to its advantage in Toy Story, in WALL-E, etc., 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 etc. But yeah, they're just like, what the hell happened to Pixar? They're all wondering what the hell happened to Pixar.
What, you're just now asking that question? Where have you been?
Oh my God, why does this imagination-teasing, opposites-attract rom-com feel like a misfire? Coming from the director of The Good Dinosaur, without the oversight of John Lasseter.
I just don't understand why they're surprised. That's what gets me, is like, why did you think was going to happen? Everything they've been doing as of late has been, I don't know, I mean... Other than Coco, I can't think of one that's been really popular in the last several years. Inside Out was, but that was, longer ago.
Inside Out and Coco were the last two that felt like actual Pixar movies. I don't think Turning Red was that bad.
No, Turning Red wasn't. No one's even mentioning that. Why are they even mentioning that one at all?
I don't know, because Turning Red wasn't that bad, but it did not feel like a Pixar movie. Does that make sense? Like, it felt like a movie from another studio. It did not feel like a Pixar movie. Yeah, the way people have a meltdown about it, I thought it was going to be terrible. And it had moments you're just like, oh, for fuck's sake. Yeah, but
most of it was really good, and it was one we'd watch again. Like I said, I felt seen. Ginger, who, someone who has to be calm themselves down by brushing. I mean, I thought it was very relevant. Anyway, but then you have, Lightyear, because that's their bright idea, or there are people in charge that we need to make another Buzz Lightyear, movie without Buzz Lightyear.
I get the feeling, and look, I could be completely wrong here, but they are trying to save money. And the last couple of Disney movies and the last couple of Pixar movies have not performed, and they're both doing effectively the same movies now, the same kind of movies. There's no reason for these studios to remain separate. They're not. They're going to use this as a reason to roll them together. Yeah, they'll just call it Disney Pixar anyway. Yeah, it's like, okay, we're just Disney Pixar animation studios at this point, so we're just going to roll them both together and call it a day. Save money. Save money, and we're going to relocate you all to Burbank or, whatever. Aren't they over there now? Pixar's in San Francisco. Yeah, I think they're in the San Francisco area. But so I don't know, guys. That doesn't look good. And the 28 to 38 million, I think that's optimistic at this point. Because people might just go see Mario again. Take that to go see Mario again. Theater, I don't know. It's just, it's not doing well. It's not looking good. I mean, that could change, obviously. But even if something does really well opening weekend, you need to look past opening weekend, because they're all in a run with that. But they'll drop the ball when it comes to the second weekend. If it does well, you'll hear about it. If it starts to fall off a cliff, you might hear about it for one story, and then everybody shuts up about it, because they, especially when it comes to Disney. Yeah. Week 2 is usually what you need to look for. But this one, just everybody. I've seen some people being very excited about it from the beginning, but most people are just like, eh. Yeah. The vibe I got was, from everybody was, who cares? Meh. All right. That's everything coming out of Disney these days. So we're going to wrap this up. Yes. All right. Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later. Bye. Sorry, I yelled loudly. That's okay. I got the limiter on. Okay. So you can tell my kick setting. Yeah, you can tell. Really? It automatically limits it when I yell? It does. When the pitch gets too high, it does. Sometimes if you sound like all robotic, it's because it's bringing the decibels down. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Help support the channel. Go to thereef.support and get early access to podcasts, videos, and other content. That's thereef.support.